Joining me on the phone now is somebody who is taking a very caustic look at Karl Rove over a period of time. Jason Leopold from truthout.org. So, Jason, you didn't like the guy, did you?
No. Karl Rove is ruthless, and I think
met Rahm Emanuel?
I'm sorry?
Have you met Rahm Emanuel?
I'm not, but we're talking about Karl Rove, John.
Ruthlessness is something that's common to the breed, no matter what the political stripe.
Is in a class by himself. He used the tactics that he used to get this president elected, and the numerous scandals that have his name written all over it has done nothing but has hurt the Republican Party, and it has cost
Wait a
them
minute.
clearly.
You're not an analysis. You're not an analyst of the fortunes of the Republican Party, are you?
Listen, I'm calling it as I see it, John. I think that it's clear that Karl Rove's involvement, where he's had his hands on everything, from the U.S. attorney scandal to one of your favorite topics, the leak of covert CIA operative Valerie Plame Wilson,
I think
election
the testimony was she
scandals.
wasn't.
He's been everywhere, and now he's under subpoena. He's leaving the White House under a cloud.
Wait a minute, Jason. Jason, with all due respect, Saturday, May 13th, 06, you published a story that said that he was indicted on perjury charges and lying to investigators. That did not turn out to be the case, Jason.
Right.
Are you just angry about that? Is that why you're dissing him?
I'm not at all. I think that, listen, the facts are the facts. The Republicans are so undecided about, who to pick. The candidates are horrible, all of them. It's Karl Rove.
You think Giuliani's horrible? He might beat Clinton.
I think Giuliani would, he's got too many skeletons in his closet. Too many of them have already, been let out.
Wait, you wouldn't be talking about sliming somebody with the personal details of their life like you accuse Rove of doing.
Well, listen, it's not a secret.
What is it? It's only ruthless if your opponent does it, but if you do it, it's okay?
I'm not the one organizing the campaign.
Well, I know, but Jason, with all due respect, we all go out on a limb sometimes, but sometimes when you go out far on a limb, predict an indictment, it doesn't come true, you would expect a little future humility in your predictions.
Listen, touche, John. But
thank you.
The fact is, Karl Rove, right now has his involvement, whether there is anything there or not, the cloud that remains over this administration, simply as a result of the scandals and the investigations, puts
Isn't it a fact, Jason, that he was cleared of all those slimy charges that were thrown at him in the Plame deal?
Cleared?
Yes, cleared.
You know what? I'm going to say no, because Patrick Fitzgerald himself has never once commented. Karl Rove's attorney.
He's just a prosecutor.
I'm sorry?
He's just the prosecutor. His is not the last word, Jason.
Have you ever heard from Patrick Fitzgerald? I haven't. I have never heard Patrick Fitzgerald say unequivocally.
Well, evidently you have heard, because you heard him say there's going to be an indictment.
Okay. Well, I have never heard Patrick Fitzgerald say Karl Rove is in the clear. You asked me a very specific question.
On June 13th, 2006, prosecutors determined there was no reason to charge Rove with any wrongdoing in the so-called Plame affair. Much to the disappointment of Mr. Plame, that pompous Joe Wilson.
There's got to be a reason, John, that so many people in this country despise Karl Rove.
Oh, all right, let's see. The New York Times, NBC News, CBS News, ABC News, The Washington Post, shall I go on? Newsweek, Time, you, others who have just heaped manure on Karl Rove for years.
Well, if you could give me, if you could right now offer me something that, would dispute any of that, well, then, I'll let you have it.
Okay, all right. Let's prove something by a negative. Show me an indictment.
But I don't have an indictment to show you. I mean, you're reaching for something that doesn't exist.
Well, I'm reaching for the copy of your story from May 13th, 2006.
That was a year and a half ago. There's been much more that come out for Karl Rove.
What came out? If more came out, why wasn't he indicted?
Well, why does he have to be indicted?
Well, Jason, it's really very simple. If there is no proof of criminality, he will not be indicted. If he is not indicted, he's not guilty of anything that's a crime.
Well,
hey, Jason, have you ever revealed the source of the story that didn't come true?
I have not.
Why not?
You know what? Because that would not be fair to my sources.
Well, your source was unfair to you.
I don't believe that my sources...
You wouldn't be taking all this grief from me if your source hadn't led you down the wrong path.
I can take it. But, things happen. Every single day in a newspaper or on a television show, such as Fox.
Are you still feeding David Schuster information?
There's, people get,
Are you still feeding David Schuster information?
I have no idea.
I'll take that as a yes. Jason Leopold. Good hunting, Jason. Thanks very much.
30 years of hard news experience. Take that, Vanderbilt boy.
You like Switzerland and sort of try to be neutral.
John Gibson
on
Fox News Talk.